Philadelphia and New York City have tons and tons of snow, more than they usually get in a whole season. They got already, and there must be at least 2 more months to go. Well, you know, I lived in Minnesota for lots of years, and we got snow every winter. And whenever a blizzard come on, you kind of look forward to it because you run to the store and get all your favorite foods. And then you go home and you bake cookies and cakes and pies, and you play games and you watch TV, and maybe you do some hobby stuff. But it's lots of fun, lots of fun. Although one time, it wasn't so much fun. I got home from work, and my husband's car was in the driveway behind mine because mine was in the garage. Only one would fit in the garage, not both of them. So I took my husband's car up to the grocery store, which was only like 4 blocks away. And the wind was howling and howling and blowing and blowing. And I decided, you know, I better not park the engine into this stormy, windy, cold wind, because it might not start. So I turned it around and I parked so that the wind was coming and hitting me at the back of the trunk first. And I get my purse and I opened my door, and a big gust of wind came along and ripped that door out of my hand. It not only ripped it out of my hand, it ripped it off the hinges. And there it lay about 6 feet from my car. Well, I thought, you know, creative woman that I am, I said, no problem. I'll just put it in the trunk and go get my groceries anyway. What am I going to do? No point in going home without my groceries. So I open up the trunk and I walk over and I'm going to pick up that door. How was I wrong? Do you know how much a red Cutlass Supreme 1966 Oldsmobile door weighs? Well, I don't know either. But I'll tell you what, that weighs far too much for what this little old country girl can raise. I could barely spin it around on the icy parking lot. So I still thought, well, someone will help me. I'm going to go walk in and get my groceries anyway. Well, as I got up to the grocery store door, there was 2 men coming out. And they didn't look like they were from that town. They looked like they were probably salesmen and stuck in town because of the weather. So I said to them, sirs, I have a little problem and I wondered if you could help me. And the one, he wanted nothing to do with me. And the other one says, well, what do you need? And I says, well, I parked the car over there and the wind came along and it blew my door off the hinges. I said, I need help putting it in the trunk because I'm not strong enough to get it in the trunk. And the one guy, he says, he just shakes his head and keeps on walking. And the other guy says, well, I'm not sure I can help you. I said, he says like, it can't be off of the hinges. I said, no, it's laying 5 feet from my car. Oh, it can't be. He says, but I'll take a look. He says, I don't know if I can help you or not, but I'll take a look. He gets over there, and his other friend is still walking to the car, and he's saying like, hey, George, come over here. You're not going to believe it. This woman was not telling the lie. Her car door is 6 feet from her car. Well, the other guy came over, and he helped get it in there. And they laughed, and they laughed. And I said, well, even though the dome light was on, my car was all lit up because the door was off and the door button wasn't stuck shut. I went and got my groceries. And I come back out. Now I have to drive home with this car with the door in my trunk, and of course the dome light is in the car on, and it's dark because when you have snowstorms in Minnesota and it's 6 o'clock, it's dark outside. So I'm driving home, and I'm coming down this little hill towards our house, and our house has some corner windows in them, and my husband was in there, in that room, hanging up the kids' coats, and he saw this car come down with the lights on, and what he thought was the door open, he thought, what is that crazy person driving with their dome light on, and they must have their door wide open. And then it pulled into his driveway. The hinges that were on there were not going to work anymore because they were busted clean off. Clean, sheared. Nobody ever believes me when I tell them that story, but it is the gospel truth. It happened in Fairmont, Minnesota, and it must have been about 75 or 76, maybe 74, 75, 76, I'd say, in that time frame. All that snow in New York and Philadelphia made me think of that story. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye. And Magnolia Blossom will return again when she has something else to tell you.